Oh, hi, Nigel.
Hello. Cheers, mate.
Cheers inside. Here, I'm drinking Corp today. At least there are no worms in it.
That's another version of stout, I guess.
It's very thick.
It's oatmeal.
It's
is
very
what that is.
It's
That's
so
what
thick
porridge.
you can hold it in your hand. Yeah.
My auntie used to make porridge. It looked quite a bit like that. Same colour.
I bet
some
it didn't
texture,
have
very
blue and
thick.
orange in it. Anyhow.
Well, she was a Broncos fan. She was actually that's what happened to me. She was one of the first American footballers.
She put dye in the porridge.
She put dye in the porridge,
All right.
and it was Broncos. It was Broncos blue and orange. And since I've been visiting over here, I have a lot. You know, I brought all the little NFL tidbits that I have. So I have like an old helmet, you know, that John Elway wore.
Did you bring some of your grandmother's porridge?
Of course
It's been
not.
frozen and
I heard early in the
preserved
show.
for the
You were
last
talking.
30
I heard
years.
early in the show. 30 years.
well, however long it's been.
Oh, lad, that's got to push the preserve market, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
I hope you didn't.
No, I wouldn't eat
You
that.
couldn't get that through the customs.
I could make a sidewalk out of it, but I don't think I could eat it. I'd break every tooth in my body.
That's right.
And I'll probably have gallbladders the size of this
Well,
room.
don't do that.
Okay.
I want to keep you healthy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Please.
anytime, yeah.
Please. I mean, blood sausage is one of the greatest things for you. You don't need any blood sausage, do you?
No,
Why not?
that sounds disgusting. What's a blood sausage?
It's a meat. It's a meat where they still keep some of the blood from the animal. So whether they
Why would they do that?
cut up a beef or a pork, you know, sausage a part of the animal. Why? Because it's natural. What you think you were born in? You think you were born in a
I was born in a country that believes
you were born in
good
a room
food.
that was full
And
of
I
air
still live here.
conditioning and carpet. Come on. We were
Listen,
born
you
on
know,
rocks. We were
this-
born on rocks in foliage, and we went from there, lad.
Well, listen, this is another reason that British people stick to fish and chips, because the only other option on the menu is disgusting things like blood sausage. You probably import most of your food from the United States. Your beef was probably slaughtered in Chicago, in the South Side, in fact, in back of the yards.
We're no different from you, China.
Listen,
Everything's coming from
I don't
China.
want to hear about China. When we slaughter a bull or a cow or whoever it is, we drain the blood out.
It's
Why?
not a who.
Because you're supposed to.
Do you pet it? Do you go, oh, I'm sorry, Sam,
No.
we're going to slaughter you? 'cause
No,
we're
I'm
hungry."
telling you,
It's
you
a
drain the
it.
blood out.
It's a it. It's got blood in if you don't eat it.
And so you're supposed to drain the blood out, and then you make sausage or steak or hamburgers, whatever you want to make.
I'll tell you this, mate. Fair enough, right? Give it a shot.
A blood
Or,
sausage?
or some
I'll have a
pudding
bite.
or
I'll have a
Yorkshire
bite.
pudding or something like
Yeah,
that.
pudding I don't mind.
You don't mind that?
No,
So you're okay with the pudding,
certainly.
but you can't.
Do you have blood in
you
your
can't handle
pudding
your
too?
own sausage.
Do you have blood in the pudding too?
You get a little irky when you talk sausage.
Why should you have blood in any food unless you're a vampire?
It's natural.
It's natural for vampires, not for people.
Well, maybe now that you mention it, I mean things I don't think about. Maybe it come over from old Bratislava, Romania, right? Is that where the old canine keeper originated from?
You mean? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, that
The
guy, the
vampires
vampire.
and all that stuff. You know?
Right.
Yeah. And so maybe somewhere they made the trick, and maybe that's what their offer was.
Maybe
you
that's
know?
why British people have blood sausage, because it's a vampire tradition that got brought over.
The Chinese and the Italians, they thought it was magic, when they like exchanged the pasta, and and it expanded into hot water a long time ago, and it's no different, I guess. I mean, it would be something like that, because how does one country discover something that originated in another country? It's not like somebody puts it in a package and sends it over,
Oh, they bring
and
it.
then
They travel.
and then this bloke goes, "Hey, look at what I got.
They travel.
We're going to use this from now on." It don't work that way.
No, you don't mail it in a package. You just travel, or you get to another country and say, "Hey, check this out. I brought it over in the ice chest." But still, hold on. If somebody brings you a food and you look at it, you go, ugh, and you take a bite and you go, ugh. Now, are you going to start serving that to your family? And the smartest thing to do is say, "I tried it. That's all I wanted to do.
Of course you're not
now
gonna
I've
stop
experienced
serving
it.
it.
I know that this is disgusting. I'm not going to eat it today. I'm not going to eat it tomorrow. I'm not going to eat it later. I'm not going to feed it to my family, my friends, or my dog. I'm just going to discard it and go back to eating something normal, like a good old American hamburger or a steak."
Well, if you
Or
want
French fries.
If you want to say that, I'm not talking about. And you make a good point. I'm all
Thank you.
with you on that one.
All
I'm
right.
following the lead. But I'm not talking about serving it to your friends or anything. I'm talking about having the audacity to give it a try. You know, to say,
I said I
to
tried.
say, you know, this is America, and I'm a Homo sapien,
I'm just not.
and I never had this.
I'm a masochist.
Oh, you're going to go that way?
I said I'd try it, but I'm not going to like punish myself if I find out it's as disgusting as I think it's going to be. How about this? What
If your name scares you, just tell me the name scares you.
No,
you
the
don't
name,
have, you don't
the
have
name
blood and
disgusts
guts
me.
and churning and all that bit.
I tell you, this is what I was going to say next. If you're so enchanted with blood, as in blood sausage, if you really want to take it to the extreme, why don't you just skip the sausage part and have a blood? You can get a coffee mug full of blood, make sure it's at the right temperature. It's about
40, maybe I'll be taking
48 degrees, just how I like my blood. Make sure you've got a nice napkin, you know, or a bib, so you don't get blood stuck all over your shirt. And you go, cheers, mate! Cheers, mate! Down the hatch!
Blood is like splashing everywhere.
What are the other expressions? Down the hatch, you know, top of the morning, whatever it is, and you just
Cheerio.
cheerio, and you take a deep swig. Try not to let any drool down your chin because you're going to look particularly gruesome. And you see how it tastes, see how it feels. If it feels better, go ahead. If it feels better, you got to question. You go back to the genealogical charts because
after this
if it feels better, you're probably descended from vampires.
After this verbal slaughter, I
Transylvania.
feel confident not to bring up bangers and hash. I mean,
Is
if you
there
had this much trouble with...
Is there blood in bangers and hash?
There was originally blood in that, if you must know, yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, when it was
It's
a
an
walking,
animal.
living animal. I'm saying, when you
They
slaughter
don't
it,
pump them full of air,
When
and
you
they're like, all
slaughter
the
it,
parts
you
inside
take
just
the
keep
blood
moving.
out.
They what?
So, I'm saying, when you slaughter an animal to eat, you take the blood out. This goes back to biblical times. Joey, I don't know. I mean, and Nigel, I don't know when's the last time you looked at the Old Testament, but when they did these...
no, we don't have Christianity over in England.
Yeah, I know, you've got the Church of England, right?
Hello?
Well, what did you have before that?
Before that?
Before the Church of England?
Well, we had lots of churches.
Right, okay, so you must be at least somewhat familiar with the whole concept. Back in the Bible, they would sacrifice animals, and they'd get the blood out, didn't they?
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but they didn't eat the blood. That's
But
what
they
I'm
didn't.
saying.
They didn't have like this whole FDA cleaning process you have over here, where it's like, okay, we're going to touch the meat and we're going to dissect it into little parts, arteries over here, and the parts that we call the old trash stuff. And then the veins, and then we're going to cleanse it in the blood and all that. You think when your great mum was sitting on the old stone and living in the cave, you think she was going out there worrying about getting all the blood out? No, it was a long day.
I think they did.
Your pops from way back, he was out there trying to gather something that was crawling that they could eat that day.
Have you ever heard
she
the
didn't have
expression-
time to be like separating everything.
Have you ever heard the expression, if you're going to kill it, cook it, right?
I never heard that.
Well, like if you go to a restaurant,
Nobody in England has heard that. I can
I'll
confess.
tell you. Let me be the first to tell you.
Please
You go to a restaurant, you go to Omar's Steakhouse, and you say, I'd like to have the 16-ounce porterhouse steak. What's the first question?
Does it come with blood?
No, only to a Brit.
Oh, okay.
The first question is, how would you like it cooked? And then the proper response is whatever how you would like it cooked.
Oh, I heard you over it. The rare or the medium
Yeah,
rare.
I know.
Is that where you're going?
Well, if you're sitting at a table with your friends, your spouse, or whatever, and you say, well, I'd like it rare. And the waiter's going to probably look at you and then, long pause. Long, uncomfortable
Well,
pause.
he's not eating it, is he? And he's
No, he's not, but he
for it.
wants to make sure you're not making a horrible mistake. And your spouse or your friend, whoever you're having dinner with, is probably going to say, Nigel, if you're going to kill it, cook it. A reference to just don't get it all dripping with it. Don't get it so rare. Not that there's blood on it. We're too civilized for that. But it still looks like it. I mean, as long as you're going to kill the poor bull or whatever, make a steak out of him, you should cook him and then eat him.
Is that really
not halfway
Is
cook
that
him.
really where you're going with this? Because Mickey,
It's just related to
there's
blood.
like a bit of exception in this whole thing.
Huh?
You know the Japanese, right?
Yeah? What about it?
Okay. Well, they're like for centuries and centuries. You know as well as I do. I mean, you're a cultured lad.
Certainly.
I mean, they're taking these animals from the ocean and they're like eating them raw and they're calling it sushi.
Yeah.
So where does that fall into
Right.
your little idealism?
They don't serve sushi in the steakhouse, Joey. Nigel.
They call it teriyaki, don't they? When you go to Japanese steakhouse, it's called the teriyaki.
Right.
And you got the
That's
guy
not the same as sushi.
swinging the cleavers
Right,
all over
okay,
the place.
the teriyaki
And you're worried about your little girlfriend, you know. Maybe her purse gets cut off because she loves her purse, but you like the effect, right? What are you going to do? Are
In
you
the
gonna say
Japanese
no? We don't
restaurant,
want- we
when
don't
you
want no
order
Japanese steak.
teriyaki, they've drained the blood out of it before they serve it to you.
That's the best part.
No, it's the grossest part. All right, I said I'd try a bite of your blood sausage, and but I'm not going to murder myself on it. And if you want to go on eating blood sausage, fine.
Put here, mate.
But you're crazy.
This is how we do it in England, okay? Where I come from, okay? Birmingham area, all right?
Yeah.
If you got a mate and you love him, and you love the mate, like you'll do anything for him,
Mhm.
right? You spit your hand every time, whether you're playing a football game or whether you're trying to shag the same girl or whatever you do. you that is your tie and that's your bind. That's the bind that ties and the ties that
The
bind.
ties that bind.
So do you learn something about the old Englanders?
Yeah, you people are crazy. When it comes to food and blood, and
That's what you got out of this.
Okay, well, you learn something every day on the Joey and Mickey Pro Football Show. I'll let that be. That's my lesson for today. Perhaps a few of you in our viewing audience will learn this too.
So you take me out for a steak tonight, is that it?
Next time I'm
Is that what
visiting
this
you-
all means?
Stop. Next time we're in London, we'll go out and we can order. I will order a blood sausage, and I may end up ordering something else after I take a couple bites. It depends how I like it.
You're a man of your word.
So we'll see. But I
can't
am.
ask for more.
I am.
Are you a gentleman?
Certainly.
Then that's all I need to know.